911 with the address of the emergency.
Oh my God, this lady just tried to break down my door. I shot through the door. Oh my God.
Okay, repeat that address for me to make sure I have it correct. Okay, what is your name? Okay, take a deep breath for me. Calm down.
Oh my God.
You said someone tried to break down your door, is that correct?
Yes, the woman was screaming and yelling and she was trying to break down my door.
Okay, it was a female?
Yes. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed my gun and I shot at the door. And I thought she was going to get me. Oh my God.
Okay, you said you shot at the door, is that correct?
Yes, I shot at the door because she wouldn't stop. I told her to get away and she wouldn't. She just begging.
Okay, where's your gun now?
It's in my bedroom. I didn't know what to do. I was panicking. This is the woman who attacked me.
Okay, do you still see the subject?
I don't know where she is. I'm still in my house. I didn't open my door to her.
Is it just only you in the home?
Yes, it's just me.
Okay, I just need you to lock all your doors and windows, okay?
I have.
Okay, I'm going to stay on the line until the deputies get there.
Okay. My son said they were going to come and kill me.
And did you know her?
Yes, she's come after me several times because of her children. Her children keep trespassing over here. They're bothering me. They won't stop.
Is she a neighbor?
Yes.
During the pandemic, the black femicide rate drastically increased. A little under every 5 hours a day, a black woman or black girl is killed, typically by a black man. This is the story of Ajike Owens. Ajike, but nicknamed AJ, was a 35-year-old friendly, vibrant, loving, and dedicated mother to 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. Although she was raising her children on her own, she made sure they were taken care of and demonstrated respect towards everyone.
Good morning.
Is it? Good morning.
Good morning.
Sadly, Owens lived in an apartment complex where she and her kids were racially harassed by neighbor Susan Lorenz. The two had gotten into multiple disputes over the last couple of years, some of which resulted in the police being called. On June 2nd of this year, AJ's son was playing in the yard when Susan confronted the young boy, yelled racial slurs, and threw a skate at him. She then took his tablet into her home. After telling his mom what happened, AJ went over to Lorenz's home to retrieve her property. Instead of answering the door, Susan shot through the door, fatally striking AJ.
Mom's laying in the grass or what? Hey, is your mom laying in the grass? Yes! Sorry, bro. Respect for your mom, all right?
Her children ran to my house, banging on the door, asking for us to call the police that their mother was shot.
It was around 9 in the evening Friday. Kids playing across from their home on 107th Lane in Marion County, and a neighbor reportedly had an issue with where they were.
She has called the cops just for them playing. She calls them names.
On Friday, whatever happened between the neighbor and the children, it led the children's mother, Ajike Owens, to the woman's door.
Whether it be banging on the doors, banging on the walls, and threats being made. And then at that moment is then when Ms. Owens was shot through the door.
The sheriff stressing his agency has more facts to gather. Also elevating the stress of the moment, items reportedly thrown at the kids, skates according to the sheriff.
It was a pair of skates that was thrown at the children.
A family friend says Owens was going to retrieve an iPad left behind by one of the kids.
The mother went to get the iPad and you shoot her? Who does that?
She wants investigators to act.
Charge her. You know who did it. Charge her.
I wish our shooter would have called us instead of taking actions into her own hands.
The sheriff adding they have more investigative work to do.
And what we have to rule out is whether the deadly force was justified or not before we can even make the arrest.
Ajike's family was devastated that Susan was still free. They argued that stand your ground should not apply to this case, considering Susan shot through the door and there was no imminent threat. After hearing about this case, attorney Benjamin Crump got involved. He wanted to bring public awareness and apply pressure to the police department.
My daughter, my grandchildren's mother, was shot and killed with her 9-year-old son standing next to her. What I'm asking is for justice. Justice for my daughter, Ajike Chantrell Owens. I am asking for justice for Isaac Williams. Justice for Israel Owens. Justice for Africa Owens. Justice for Titus Owens. Justice for your family, for your children, for your loved ones. Justice for America. To God be the glory. I know justice will prevail. This is not over. My Father in heaven will see to it that these children, our family, our community, will receive justice and provide for this family, our family, your family. Thank you.
When you met Ajike, her smile would light up the room. Ajike adored her children. She lived, eat, and breathed for them day in and day out. She made the sacrifices as a single mom to be there for them in each and every stages of their lives. She would never want to miss a football game, a practice, cheerleading. She was there. They were her world. They were her everything. And now, because of this senseless act, they are now without her. Let it be known, I happen to live in the same apartment as Ajike. A year before, I moved out of that apartment and she moved in a year later. My own children played in the same field as the children who played in the field now. Never was an issue, never was a problem. The landowner or the property overseer told the kids that they were able to play there as long as they cleaned up after themselves. This woman had no right as a tenant to tell these children that they could not be children and play.
The field is a public field. We live in an apartment complex. Nobody owns anything. We all lease. And even the field is big, so, it's really big. Even when they play out there, they don't play on the side where her apartment is. They play on the other side to avoid all this confusion, but she comes out anyways. Anytime the kids are out there, she's coming outside. She antagonizes kids. She calls them names, slaves, racial slurs, all kinds of stuff, all of the children.
She say something to your children?
Yes, she says stuff to everybody's children. She's told my daughter that she was going to be raped if she didn't get off her property. On June 6, 58-year-old Susan Lawrence was arrested on charges of manslaughter with a firearm, culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault. Manslaughter with a firearm is a felony and punishable with up to 30 years in prison.
And can you tell me what was it that determined she did shoot this woman and that it was not an act of self-defense?
The whole time we had only one side of the story, okay? We know that she shot through the door. Of course, on her side of the story, she makes claims that her life was being threatened. And the way the laws are written in this state, and this is what people need to understand, is our hands are tied in law enforcement in these cases where we are instructed that we cannot make their arrest because we have to rule out whether the shooting was justified or unjustified. So one of the biggest things is the interview of witnesses, and some of our witnesses were the mother's kids. And obviously we were not going to interview them that night after watching their mother be shot and killed. Okay, so we did it on Monday morning so that they sat down with counselors. They didn't, it wasn't my investigators, it's to do this the right way so that they can sit down and the counselors can talk to them to get the children to talk, and they did. And we got a bigger picture, and we got the full picture. And a lot of the hard work of my detectives wanted to ensure that we closed all the loopholes so that she would not have a defense of using stand-the-ground law. And this is not a stand-the-ground, okay? Let me make that clear. This was not. And it was an unjustified shooting of Miss Owens, and she's arrested for it.
On June 10th, Susan appeared before the judge and was granted a $154,000 bond. Owens' family was in the courtroom and objected, but Susan's lack of a criminal history made her eligible. A few days after the murder, AJ friends and family gathered together for a vigil. They spoke of her character as a woman, a friend, and most importantly, a mother. No funeral arrangements have been announced, but the family has a GoFundMe. A link will be posted in the description box. I hope the charges are upgraded to murder and that the family raises enough money for legal and child caring expenses. Please keep the family in your thoughts and prayers. Rest in peace, Ajike Owens.